Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Women's Health Wednesday live with me, Jacqueline Rose, menopause educator and coach, where we go deep into a specific women's health topic and bust the myths, unwrap the issues involved in this topic, and really to maybe shed some light to really understand what's going on with you. And today we are talking about stress. Now, stress is one of the topics I talk about a lot when it comes to women's health and symptoms. And that is because stress plays a really, really significant role in our lives. We are all exposed to stress, but it plays a very significant role in how it impacts us biologically, emotionally, mentally, and even spiritually. So many of the symptoms that you may be experiencing as a midlife woman or even a woman in your 30s, maybe if you have infertility challenges, PMS, irregular periods, infertility, or anything like that, that also could be attributed to stress. So we really want to understand what is going on with this whole stress story. Why should we care about it so much? How is it impacting us? And really, what is going on here? So let's try and peel back some of the layers here around the stress story. So the first thing, as we know, stress is a nervous system response. It is a natural, normal, biological response that happens in the nervous system when you are triggered by a stress trigger. Thousands of years ago, it may have been that tiger that was running after you in the savannah, and you had to run to your tribe, to a safe cave, so that you were saved and not eaten by the tiger that was chasing after you. So your body triggered a stress response. The stress response was always meant to be specific to a situation. And then when you were in safety, together in the safety of your tribe, together in the safety of a cave, your nervous system re-regulated back to its rest and digest state or some in-between state. As we talk about so frequently in today's modern living, we're not running away from tigers. However, we are triggered and stimulated 24/7 pretty much by stress triggers. Stress triggers could be the news, it could be your job, your boss, your kids, aging parents, a stressful relationship, financial problems. Any of these things could be triggering a stress response. The problem is that today's stress response, we don't have this high trigger and then let the nervous system re-regulate. What we see today, unfortunately, is the triggers that are being constant. We are constantly bombarded by these stress triggers, and our nervous system never has the time to re-regulate. Our nervous system never has the time to get back to that rest and digest state. So it means that our body is consistently and continually responding to stress. The adrenal glands are constantly pumping out cortisol and adrenaline, which is the biological stress response. So what happens next? Our body then responds to this cortisol response. Biologically, when we have a stress response, the reproductive system shuts down or is limited. The digestive system shuts down or is limited. Blood pumps much faster through the body, which means our cardiac activity is much more increased. Brain alert and aware. We are highly sensitive to certain stimuli. But anything essential like reproduction, digestion, immunity is all shut down to conserve our energy so that we are super aware, super alert, and obviously glucose is released into the bloodstream to give us energy, these energy spikes, so that we can cope with the running away, the stimulus. Then obviously the system should return to normal after the stress trigger has disappeared. But in today's day and age, it is not. News alerts, social media alerts, as I said, stress triggers from all different sources are continuously bombarding us. There is another problem. High cortisol impedes thyroid function. So for many women in midlife, all of a sudden they're discovering that their thyroid is not working. Or if you're in your 20s or in your 30s and you are busy juggling young kids and a job and, you know, house responsibilities and all the other things, social stuff and all the things that young 30-year-olds are dealing with, often you are diagnosed with a thyroid condition that may actually not necessarily be directly related to thyroid function, but may be an impediment of thyroid function because of high stress, because of consistent cortisol that is being pumped out in your body that is inhibiting thyroid function. It inhibits metabolism, it inhibits the regulatory process of our immune system. All those things are impacted by the adrenal production of cortisol. Another thing is that if we have been in high stress mode for years, special needs child, sick parents, very stressful relationship, 101 different things that you could be experiencing consistently over long periods of time, actually our adrenal glands start to get tired. Adrenal glands they themselves need that rest and digest. They themselves need the calming down to re-regulate, to restore, to sort of rebalance themselves. And if adrenal glands are consistently pumping out cortisol, we end up with adrenal dysfunction, adrenal fatigue, and then they're actually not doing their job with the cortisol. Actually, rather than feeding that continual alert, aware, hyper stimulant, we actually are exhausted. We get so tired because we actually don't have the cortisol in our body because our adrenal glands are, thank you very much, I've been playing along with you for way too long. I'm tired, I'm not playing anymore. And they stop producing the cortisol at the levels that maybe your body is used to. And then there is that absolute exhaustion that sets in, which is often represented in thyroid issues or some type of thyroid problem. And then your doctor may give you thyroid medication to treat the thyroid, but you're not actually treating the root cause of the problem, which was the stress leading to adrenal fatigue and cortisol shutdown. Having said all of that, you know how you feel, and you know that you are feeling stressed out, overwhelmed, burnt out, having irregular periods, having sugar cravings, brain fog, not able to focus, weight gain, not able to sleep properly, insomnia, that evening tired but wired feeling when it comes to 10 o'clock at night and you know you're exhausted but your brain is buzzing. That nighttime routine of sitting in front of the TV with your glass of wine, your bag of chips, because that's how you need to rest and just sort of recharge yourself. Or that afternoon slump where you just have no energy later on in the afternoon and all you need is like a half an hour sleep on the couch before you can get on with the rest of the day. Any of these types of symptoms, any of these types of sort of exhaustion feelings, or that brain fog, stressed out, burnout feelings, the cravings, as I mentioned, all of these are very typical to living in high stress times. A lot of digestion problems, irritable bowel syndrome or digestion issues, bloating, any of those types of things are also possibly related to our body's response to stress. So what do we do? And you're going to turn around and say to me, Jacqueline, this is great, but there's nothing I can do about my stress. I'm living in stressful times. I've got a stressful job, or any of the reasons why we are stressed out. They are real. I'm not saying for one moment that our stress triggers are not real. They are real. But the minute we realize what it does to us, we have to start thinking about ways to re-regulate ourselves, to start thinking about ways to move our nervous system from this continual state of high stress to giving ourselves moments of relaxation, calming, and de-stress. And that is something that I really work on with my clients, finding the specific things that are going to work for you to how we can remove those stress triggers, not 24 hours a day, but maybe just for 15 minutes a day. How can we give you that space in a 24-hour cycle, in a 7-day cycle, to find those moments where you are allowing proactively, intentionally, your nervous system, your stress response to stop, to rebalance, re-regulate itself. So that's something that I work with very much with my clients. And for every single person, it's going to be different. Your stress trigger is going to be very different to a different person's stress trigger. And your way of navigating and dealing with that stress trigger is going to be very different to someone else's way of dealing and navigating with that stress trigger. And that is why everything I do is personalized to meet you where you are on your journey, to meet you and understand your own life cycle, your lifestyle, the things that are going on with you, and beginning to really figure out how can you support yourself given the reality of your life. It is not about a one-size-fits-all, standardized, formulated program of this is the way that it's going to work and this is how you reduce your stress. That is not what I do. I work very much one-on-one with you, adapting to your specific situation. There is so much you can do to release your stress and reduce your stress and allow your body to have more of this flowing, fluctuating movement between different parts of your nervous system that help to rebalance you. So stress is important. It's important because of what it does in your body. It's important because of how it triggers symptoms. And it's important because there's no real getting away from it. There's no real running away from these stress triggers. So we need to learn how we can navigate that with the reality of where we are and what we're doing. So I hope that's been informative. If you really want to take the next step to really balancing your hormones, healing your symptoms, getting back in control of your life and really reclaiming your midlife, then drop me a DM. I would love to hear from you. And I'm looking forward to supporting you along your health journey. Have a great day.